My arms are the size of like birds' legs, and this one doesn't even really work anymore. So all the physical strength things, I'm just going to be like, no, thank you. So, I wanted to get prepared before I did Celebrity Big Brother. So, of course, I watched old seasons of Celebrity Big Brother. And I'm really impressed with my RuPaul's Drag Race co-judge, Ross Matthews, because he was very good at playing this game. So I'm going to do what he did.
Watched a ton of Big Brother in the past. I think everybody's favorite was Derek. There's a lot of Dereks that have played that I like, actually. But Derek, I loved Xavier on this last season. I actually liked Jack a couple seasons ago, mostly because he was from Nashville. But there's a lot of players that I find really cool things in their game that I like. Ian, I loved Ian. I loved the nerdiness of Ian and how like I see a lot of me in that when he got into the house, he was freaking about every little detail of the house. And that's probably what I would do.
I watched season 2 of Big Brother because my girlfriend Candy Burris Tucker was on the show. And I also know Tamar, and I was basically rooting for both of them. And I was really happy that one of them won. I thought they both played an incredible game.
I watched the season that I watched. My favorite past player was Tamar Braxton. She played it just right.
I have watched every season of Big Brother. Again, I am a super fan. Some of my favorite players are Paul, and I love Derek because he is from Rhode Island, and that's where I'm from too.
I watched 0 Big Brother before casting.
If I'm being completely honest, I wasn't a dedicated viewer of Big Brother, but I've definitely had it on the TV while I go do chores. I think there's something to be said about having a TV show that has been as popular as this one. So I definitely know about it and have seen it, but I don't have as much knowledge as I should. I think I definitely really went ahead and studied Celebrity Big Brother since that's the house I'm going into. And I have to say my favorite Celebrity Big Brother alumni is Meta World Peace, because he kind of didn't seem like he really understood the game, but that was so endearing. And I really enjoyed his sense of humor. I think his lack of knowledge was almost his strategy going into the game. So I loved watching that.
I watched a little bit of Big Brother before being cast, but now I have watched almost every episode. I don't necessarily have a favorite because when I'm watching Celebrity Big Brother, somebody will start as my favorite and then they will like start to unravel. Like Tom Green was originally my favorite because he's hilarious. But then as he was starting to get paranoid, I was like, uh-oh. So, I'm just going to have to see.
I did not watch a lot of Big Brother before being cast on the show. And I really enjoyed Tom Green when he was on.
I have watched a lot of Big Brother before going into the Big Brother house. I wasn't a fan for a long time, but in the past few years, I have watched almost every single season. I love Jordan. I think Rachel Riley is TV gold, even though I think she's crazy and I'd be nervous to meet her. I kind of like Danielle and Evil Dick. I think that they are just one of the most dynamic duos, but I would say my all-time favorite players are Frankie Grande and Tommy Bracco because they're my friends. Tiffany and Chada, who are close friends of mine who were staying at my house, who were part of the Cookout, DX, and my all-time favorite player is probably Derek from season 16.
I'm sad to say I haven't watched a lot of Big Brother. As a matter of fact, as soon as we get off this interview, I'm going to make it my business to watch some of it right now. But I haven't watched a lot of it. But I think I get the concept, know what it's about.
I don't plan on really throwing a competition, to be honest, because I don't think I'm going to have to. I genuinely don't think I'm going to be that great at a lot of the competitions anyway. So any of the competitions that I actually can win, I plan on winning.
For the bigger picture, I might throw a competition. I realize that you need to be a team player until it's time to play individually. So if that means I get to accomplish the ultimate goal, which is to win Big Brother, sometimes I might have to sacrifice one.
I don't know if I'd throw a competition or not. It depends on the circumstances. I think for the most part, you want to go out and win. And I'm very competitive, so I don't want to throw anything. But if the circumstances needed me to throw it and I had to throw it, then I would probably throw it. But for the most part, I want to go out there and win.
I have been told by like fanatics of Big Brother not to win the first competition, as if that's just like going to be effortless for me to win. However, I just don't think I could do that. I think I have to play every single game with my full heart.
When I ever throw a competition, no. Since I've been, 8, 9 years old, I've been always playing a sport. I could never see myself losing on purpose. It's against everything, who I am.
I would never throw a competition. That's not me. I don't like, I'll lose. I'm a good loser and, I'm a good and a gracious winner, but I ain't going to throw anything.
I would definitely throw a competition because I don't have a lot of stamina. Like, I am not a person that would stay hanging upside down for an hour and a half if I didn't feel like I needed to. I'm not that person. So I think I could definitely throw a competition unless I felt like it was do or die and was going to be the difference between me staying in the game or leaving, then I would definitely not throw it.
Oh, sometimes in Big Brother, you can throw a competition. You can kind of fake it. And then it sets up like, oh, maybe you're not that good at this. And then the next time when it's your turn to shine, you can really surprise everybody. So yeah, I'd probably do that.
I would absolutely throw a competition if it was best for my alliance and best for my own game. However, it'll definitely be difficult for me since I'm programmed basically to be competitive. So I'll have to really focus in on throwing the competition if that's the case. And I hope I will have to throw some of the competitions because that means I have friends.
I probably wouldn't really ever throw a competition unless someone asked me to and they thought that was the best thing to do at the moment.
I would throw a competition if I felt that I was becoming too big of a threat and I was going to put a target on my back. But we'll have to see if that happens.
Okay, so there's 2 ways to play it. If you're lucky enough to get to the end of the competition, you could bring along your BFF in the house, and it'd be really fun and nice and sweet. And then either one of you, like either you or your new best friend, is going to win all the money and win the competition and get all the glory. Or you could bring someone who you can just absolutely slay, and then you're going to win. So that's going to be hard, but I'll pick the person I can slay.
If I could take either my biggest ally or my biggest competition to the final 2, I would pick my biggest ally, because if we supported each other through the whole thing, most likely that person is part of the reason I'm still there.
Sadly, I would not take my alliance member. This is a game and I'm going in to win. I've seen Survivor. I've seen people lose $1 million to a lot of people. So sadly, I would have to take someone that I felt that I could beat.
I've seen this happen on the show before, and I've contemplated whether I would bring my closest ally if I knew I would lose, or bring someone else if I knew I could beat him. And I would have to say, I would probably play the loyalty card and let it fall where it falls and bring the person that could beat me if I was loyal to them.
I'd probably take somebody I can beat. I don't think I would take my closest ally who I don't think I'd want to see him get crushed. So I would probably take somebody, that you can beat easy.
I'll probably try to take the closest ally to the last 2 because you get along with allies.
I'm not sure how I would react. I think that since I'm not in the house yet, I would say I would pick my friend. But at the same time, money does call my name. So I guess I wouldn't know what I'd say.
For the final 2, I think I would take my closest ally with me, because if I didn't win, I would really be happy that they won.
I'm taking the person I could definitely beat. Because even though we might have been allies, but my judge and it's, for me, is to win. So I wouldn't want to, chance that. If I can find a way not to chance that, then our friendship.
Don't quote me on this, but I think I would rather take my closest ally, knowing I might lose, I always like a really big challenge. And at the end of the day, Celebrity Big Brother is meant to be enjoyed. It's meant to be a game. But if I'm put in that position, I've never been there before. So I truthfully can't say exactly what I would do.
I think it is a very difficult thing to decide if I would take my closest ally to the final two or to take somebody you can beat. I think in a regular season of Big Brother, there's 90 days of getting to know each other, or 70, 80, 90 days. I think in 3 weeks, there's no way you can form as strong of a bond as people do on a regular season of Big Brother. So I don't know that it would be as difficult for me in a celebrity season to cut somebody who was my closest ally, because how close can you be in 3 weeks? Whereas I think it would be difficult for me to do that if I formed a bond with somebody over 3 months. So I think that I would be able to cut them off. But it just depends. I don't know, because if I really, really liked someone, maybe the money wouldn't be worth it,
I think the hardest part of the game is going to be strategy, because it's really, you have to think so many moves ahead, and there's so much luck involved with each challenge, and each time you win or lose, you have to kind of reshuffle everything and rethink it. So that's going to be the hardest. Social games should be pretty easy. The challenges are going to be tough, but fun. So we'll see.
I think the hardest part of this competition is going to be the social strategy when it comes to building alliances and having to be sneaky and be dishonest with people at times, even just not telling them the whole truth. I'm a very forward person. I usually speak exactly what's on my mind. I'm not sure how or what alliance I'm going to fit into. And I usually don't like to play those kinds of games anyways, but here we are, Celebrity Big Brother. That's what it's about.
I think the hardest thing for me on Celebrity Big Brother will be the physical competitions.
I guess the connections, because generally I don't like people. People are mean.
Physical competition will definitely be the most difficult part of being in the house for me. My knees are not what they used to be. And I'm definitely a woman of a certain age and will probably be one of the older people in the house.
Oh, you know what's going to be the hardest is the physical competition, because my arms are the size of like birds' legs, and this one doesn't even really work anymore. So all the physical strength things, I'm just going to be like, no, thank you.
I think the hardest part of the game for me is going to be the physical competitions. However, I'm really great at puzzles and mind games. So that's where I'm going to be strong, but it's the physical ones I'm worried about.
Well, even though I'm out of shape a little bit right now, but I think the physical competition is not going to overwhelm me. I think the hardest part of the game for me would be to be disloyal to someone purposely.
I think the social game will be the hardest for me, because I'm used to being alone. I'm used to skating and competing by myself. So the fact that I'll have to communicate what I'm going through, communicate my game strategy to my alliances, I think that'll be so difficult for me. But at the same time, I was asked earlier whether I would pick strategy master or social butterfly. And I picked social butterfly because I think that's more important, because with strategy, I don't know. I feel like I might get luckier if I'm the social butterfly.
Any competitions having to do with math? Well, let's just say I struggle helping my son do his first grade math.
I think strategy might be the most difficult thing for me. I don't know. Sometimes I trust people I shouldn't trust way too much. And sometimes I don't trust people who have not given me a reason not to trust them. So I think the social interactions with people is going to be the part that's the most difficult. I also just have not had great experiences with straight men in my life. So like when there are straight guys around, I tend to like clam up and I'm usually not able to find a common ground for us to talk about, which makes life difficult for me sometimes because I want to be able to talk to them, but I think I have like so much trauma from growing up in Texas around straight guys that it's very difficult for me. And I think that could end up being something that will lead to my demise in the game if I don't find a way to push forward and find something in common with the straight guys there. Luckily, there will probably be people who are in the industry in some way, shape, or form. So I'm hoping that there are not people there who are extremely homophobic or who are, I don't know, super conservative, because I don't think that our moral and ethic compasses will align, and in which case, who knows what our dynamic will be.
The qualities that I would look for in an alliance partner is someone that I can trust, someone that has some integrity, and someone who is a team player and who wants to win, but is happy if her close friend wins. It's kind of like, if I win, you win, kind of thing. If I can't win, I want you to win.
In an alliance partner, I think it's going to be really important for me to be with somebody who has the opposite strengths of me, somebody who is that social butterfly, somebody like Ross Matthews, who can float between alliances, stay 90% honest, and get everybody, in the direction that he needs them to be. I don't think I'm going to do a good job in that. So I think I will need a teammate who is.
Trust, truth, and honesty.
I like to go off people's vibes. So if people have good vibes, and that attracts me to them. And I think that I know that it's a game, but whether I'm in the house or not, loyalty will be so important to me, because when you're in the house with no technology, you have to trust each person's word. Loyalty is going to come through for me.
The qualities I'm looking for in an alliance partner is someone who is willing to come to me when they hear other information in the house, and just being honest and open, and just having that energy where I know I can trust them. I'm really hoping to have one player in there that I know I can trust.
Somebody who's honest, who wants to play the game and want to strategize together fairly, and not, fake the alliance and then crush you.
So alliances on Big Brother get very tricky because, you just never know if they're legit. But alliance partners, I've worked with so many people in Hollywood. I'm thinking I'm going to know some of these people when I get in there. And I'm just going to look for alliances with people I already know, because I know how they roll.
I feel like when you meet a true friend / alliance, it feels effortless. You know right away that is your person. I am hoping there is at least just one person in that house that I feel that exact way about and feels the same way about me.
The main qualities I would look for in an alliance partner is somebody who proves themselves to be loyal. I think a lot of ways people prove themselves to be loyal is not when they're with you. It's the things that they do when you're not looking. It's the things that they say behind other people's backs that let you know where their loyalty really lies. And I think loyalty is one of the most beautiful things in the world. It's one of the hardest things to spot and to identify, because you just have to trust. It's literally like faith and believing in a religion. And so I think that loyalty is the thing that I'll be looking for the most in an alliance partner. And if I feel when I look into someone's eyes and they look back into mine, that it's someone I can trust, and if I believe the words that are coming out of their mouth, I think that's somebody I'll stick with until the end of the game, if at all possible.
I think the main quality that everybody looks for in an alliance partner is loyalty. You have to go into it with someone you trust, someone that isn't just out to satisfy you for the week and tell you what you want to hear. You want somebody that wants to win with you and take you as far as you want to take them. And that's the most important thing, loyalty.
I think I look for kindness and connection.